Thank you for joining our second episode of FLX Brunch. I have a very special guest. I have made her job a little bit easier in all of the wine purchasing that I have done recently. Her name is Brittany Gibson, and she is the executive director of the Seneca Lake Wine Trail. Welcome, Brittany.
Hi,
Thank
Carol.
you for
Good morning.
joining us.
Thanks for
Now,
having me.
the most important question before we start is, what are you drinking?
Well, I had to pull out this 30th anniversary bottle of Blanc de Blanc from Lakewood
Nice.
Vineyards. The Stamp family celebrated 30 years this past year. So
Oh, nice.
cheers to them.
Cheers.
And, it's brunch time, but I'm pairing it with some chocolate cake because, hashtag Corona crazy, Carol.
I love that. I'm going to
How I
totally
roll.
use that. I am drinking Soul Red
Oh, it's delicious.
from Hector Wine Company.
Yes, Alex and Justin and the team.
Tell me,
Fabulous.
I love them.
Oh, they're amazing. Cheers.
And cheers. And Hector Wine is doing some pretty cool stuff. We talked about a little bit about what they're doing in our first episode, where they are sort of collecting food for, from around the region, right? From local farmers, is it?
Yes, they're doing awesome things.
Yeah, and selling it. So that's really cool. So drinks to them.
Indeed. Drink to that.
So I read, Brittany, that you're a local gal.
I am. Yeah.
So tell us, you went to school in Ithaca.
I did. Yep. I went to Ithaca College, but I grew up in the little teeny town of Dundee, where my dad says there's more cows than people, and he might be right.
I like Dundee. I think it's so cute, though.
It is. I love it.
They did a really good job decorating for the holidays and everything. So Now, how are you surviving?
Besides eating cake?
Besides eating cake. Now, do you recommend that pairing that you're doing right there?
Oh, it's fabulous. Cake. It's a great pairing. I also really like Blanc de Blanc with good old-fashioned Mike and Ike's. Not kidding.
Like drink and pop?
Yeah, I mean, cake and candy, that's pretty much how I get by. A little wine, I'm good.
Keep it classy, Brittany.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Well, I've got an 18-month-old, so caffeine when it's appropriate, wine when it's appropriate, sometimes when it's not. Zoom has been a savior for me because I'm able to still connect with all the people in the wine industry, and you know how great all those people are, Carol. So,
yeah,
we're this is not the first challenge that we'll face. It won't be the last, and we're riding it.
Now, who's sort of keeping you guys alive right now because we talked a little bit in the last episode of our favorite takeouts, people who have like gone a little bit out of their way for us to make sure we have our pizza. But who's keeping you alive these days?
I have a favorite local cafe called Tabora Farm and Winery. They don't have their winery open yet, but it's right down the road from my house. They have the most amazing baked goods, cookies, cakes, but they also do amazing fresh food. If you haven't had a chance to get there, it's an amazing stop. So they're doing takeout right now, and they do specials on Friday evenings. But yeah, I try as much as I can because I am a local girl to patronize local places. Tabora is our favorite, the Eagle down in Himrod. Just really great little hidden gems.
I've been doing, I've been sort of splitting it up with the ordering out but I've been doing a lot more cooking. And so Lori Ward shared a really interesting recipe last time. And I'm wondering, do you have any that you've sort of rediscovered or sort of invented along the way through this process?
Well, my chocolate cake is actually my grandma's recipe.
Oh, nice.
And it's a chocolate mayonnaise cake, believe it or not. I know everybody's probably like, wait, what? And I know the list of 10 things is making its way around Facebook, right? 10 things you despise. And mayo is on a lot of people's lists. But so, Carol, it's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. I'm taking a deep breath. Wait, the chocolate Carol, and mayo. Okay, so I'm open-minded. If you guys
so the mayo literally takes the place of like eggs and butter and oil. Because if you think about it, like mayo is really just eggs.
That's
so
true.
You don't taste it at all. It just makes it really, really it's a dense cake, but it's moist. I was trying to avoid saying that word because I really despise that word. It's on my top 10 list of things that I despise, but it's actually really good from what I understand. I don't know if this is true or not, but it was like born out of an era where, you know, people were doing a lot of baking and cooking at home, and let's say you were short on butter and eggs, and what were you going to use? Oh, a little bit of mayo. Believe it or not, it's delicious. So now, my grandma gave me that recipe when I was like 13 or 14, because when I was younger, about that age, I just was obsessed with baking, and I still sort of am. I'd rather bake than cook any day. But she shared that recipe with me, and it's always been one of my favorites.
So there is a little bit of a shortage of eggs. Like if you go to the store, they have they limit you. So if I use this recipe, I don't have to worry about getting additional eggs, is what you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay, so you're gonna have to share that recipe with us in the comments, if it's okay with your grandma.
I will. Yes, I'm sure. God bless her. She's passed, but yes, it's her legacy. It's chocolate mayo cake. Lots of other much better things.
That's so interesting.
I know. When I first saw the recipe, I was like, no. The only thing that mayo goes on is a BLT with extra B. But you know, it works. It's good.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to trust you. I'm having Christina, who also works at Finger Lakes Wine Country. I'm daring her, or having her, however you say it, try Lori's recipe, which consists of, all I remember clearly is that the chicken comes out of a can. It's for a chicken pot pie recipe.
Oh.
So Christina, she sort of chickened out a little bit for this episode. She was supposed to do it for this episode, but I'm gonna make her make that recipe and try it out. And
Thanks, Christina. You go ahead and take one for the team. I'm gonna keep enjoying my chocolate cake. The only thing that I think you should use canned chicken for is buffalo wing dip, but you know, that's just.
Oh my gosh! Now it's really quiet in your house for someone who has an 18-month-old. What did you do? Where'd you put her?
He's actually the babysitter, so he is the only child that she watches. He's really more like her adopted grandma. She's amazing. So yeah, she takes good care of him, and she's comfortable keeping him, and we're comfortable sending him there. So yeah, because otherwise, I mean, you know, you've got kids. When you're trying to take care of an 18-month-old, when they really just want to run all over the place, find things to fall off of, and find new ways of getting head injuries, like it's really hard to work at the same time. So he goes to see her during the day, and I get my work done. So
that's nice. Now, you're married as well.
I am. Yep.
And how's that going? Because that's always my question is, you know, we're hearing a lot of stories. Well, initially when this whole started, people were like, oh man, divorce lawyers are sort of lining themselves up, getting ready. You know, I was like, no, I think it's going to be okay. I mean, Travis is somewhere, like hidden somewhere too.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you cannot make noise for me. So he hid himself somewhere. How is it going for you? Any new discoveries?
Well, my husband's a school teacher. He teaches phys ed. And so he has been using the time to, you know, they're developing still lessons and things like that to send home with the kids. So he's actually been busy with that. And then they just started this week making some personal phone calls to the kids, and which nice. I can just imagine being on the other end of that phone, because even when they see him out in public, his students just go, oh my gosh, like we set up at Trunk or Treat in our community every year, and it never fails. At least one little kid walks up to us and goes, you look just like Mr. Gibson. Like, you know, because it's like, oh my, you're a teacher, like you live at school, you don't dress up for Halloween. So yeah, between all the teaching stuff that he's still got to keep going, and his man cave in the garage, you know, it's been actually really nice because we take breaks at lunchtime and have lunch together, which has been a really nice treat. Yeah, but it's going well otherwise.
That's really good. I'm curious because I have an 8th grader and a 7th grader, and an older one who graduated college. But yeah, we've been dealing with that distant learning thing.
It's not easy.
I mean, and I homeschooled but it's not the same, right? Because they have very strict guidelines. And I know a lot of parents are feeling like they're suffocating a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I try really hard that when I rant about it, I try really hard to make sure that I'm not ranting about the teacher, because I know a lot of this stuff is out of their control.
Oh yeah.
But it's really overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering, if he was here now, do you know of any tips that he would give us?
I think it would be to give yourself a little bit of grace, because I think people do think that, well, I'm homeschooling my kids and they go to school for 8 hours a day. And so I need to be, from 8 a.m. until 3 p.m., we need to be learning. And, as a homeschooler, like, it just does not unfold that way at home. The structure
Right.
is totally different. The environment is totally different. And so, I think that his message to all of his students is just make sure you move, make sure you're active, make sure you're just trying new, different things with your body. Like, go outside and throw a ball, play on your swing set, things like that. So I'm also on the school board locally, so it's kind of an interesting dynamic. But I think at least our local districts here in the Finger Lakes have done an amazing job. Just the jockeying that they had to do when schools were officially closed. They went from, well, we think we're going to be able to welcome the kids to the school to at least pick up their their packets of information and their personal items, and then we'll be closed. But then the governor over the weekend, it was over a weekend that this transpired, and the school had to say, okay, we're not going to allow the kids to come in. So our local district, actually, our superintendent, Kelly Hauk, who actually started her career in education as a bus driver, and she still drives buses when she needs to at our school. She pulled the team together over the course of the weekend. They got all of the kids' stuff separated out, put it onto buses, and went out and physically delivered it across our district. So, I think that there have been huge moments where school districts have really shined too, because it's not easy to be a teacher. It's not easy to be an administrator. Man, my hat goes off to all those people. My job is so easy compared to what they all do.
For sure. I mean, I see, I see a lot of the stuff that comes in, and I see the teachers kind of like, putting in all this work, but I'm also, just curious because, they also have families, and they're also trying to take the same type of precautions and prepare in ways that we are. Yep. And so it's almost like, just taking on this load of caring for your kid, as they normally do anyway as teachers, during a pandemic, and then also taking care of their kids. So yeah, and teachers, healthcare workers, I feel like so much has been put on them so suddenly. So bravo, cheers to them.
Absolutely, cheers to them. Cheers to all of you.
Oh, excuse to take a sip. And so I also wanted to ask you, as the work that, I work in, obviously the communications part of it as well for Wine Country, and you for Seneca Lake Wine Trail, has there been anything that you feel in a situation like this that has surprised you, whether it be about different partners or your community? I mean, you were born and raised here, so obviously you know everyone really well, but this is the first, right, in my lifetime.
Yeah,
I've
me
never
too.
experienced anything like this.
Yeah.
In what ways have you seen sort of your community or even your organization, kind of people in your organization, surprise you maybe, or really point out or really highlight things that maybe you knew about them before, but you never had an opportunity to experience? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So, I mean, that one of the things that we're always talking about here in the Finger Lakes in particular is this sense of community, that it's a big family, that people sort of share the load when the time comes. And that I've seen the wineries really shine in that way. Three Brothers Wineries and Estates. I don't know if you've seen them on social, but what their team did, just to sort of share with viewers, but a number of their team, they unfortunately had to lay off, and their tasting room manager pulled a group of people together to basically like overrun Three Brothers with online orders, and then showed up to pick them up curbside, and they documented, like she arranged it so they documented it with their videographer, and it was a total surprise. to the partners at the winery, and that was amazing. You know, other wineries like Zugabee Vineyards up on the northeast shore of Seneca have gotten really creative. They're not just promoting their own products, but they're trying to promote local restaurants too. So
Yeah.
every Wednesday they're doing a wine of the week where they order takeout from a local restaurant and pair it like through an online video. And I just love that kind of thing because it really underlines and underscores the fact that when we say it's about community here, that's not just marketing.
Right.
That's real life. You know, look at what Hector Wine Company is doing. They have literally everything from pasta to pickles to eggs, and anything else you could possibly probably need to stock your pantry or your fridge. You know, it's just, I wouldn't necessarily say it's surprising as it is. It's just neat to be able to see it in a way that consumers can also see, because those of us who work in the industry see that every day, and it's not new for us. But you know, it's neat for consumers to realize, like, wow, look how these people come together, and so that us in the industry can say, yeah, see, we told you so. Like, this is real life here, you know, and it's amazing to see. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's super. It's like really reaffirming. You know, as you know, I'm not originally from here, and I came here just as a writer, and then, you know, like 9 years later or whatever, ended up buying a house here, which this is the wall that anybody will ever see because it's the only wall that's actually finished. But it, you know, so yeah, we're in this house, and I just really, really loved it. And for somebody, you know, coming from New York City, convincing the big city folks why a girl from Brooklyn would find, you know, a rural region in upstate New York so, I don't know, like, I don't want to get too mushy about it, but like really sweet and endearing and just a fabulous place to be. I think that, you know, I've always tried really hard to kind of let people know, yes, I know it's not just a Kool-Aid drink. Like, it's actually, it's a real thing. And and moments like this have been really great. I think people, I know that, you know, just for me, I'm surrounded by vineyards. So my neighbors are all farmers. And there'll be times when, like, if I'm coming up, my driveway will be plowed, you know, from snow. And that's like, you know, coming from Brooklyn, nobody's going to shovel my sidewalk. You know? And just
community is a real thing here. That's been tremendous to see. It's also been really neat to see wineries pivot quickly. You know, as you know, our tasting rooms are set up, our winery models are set up that, you know, it's about getting visitors through our doors. And so wineries have had to really change what they do and change their focus to online sales. And they're doing things like free local delivery, you know, like the Stamp family will come deliver you some Blanc de Blanc if you really want it. Like, that's amazing. So it's been also really great to see local support of our industry, you know, people ordering out and buying wine from local wineries. And, you know, I think that really is important.
Yeah, I think that it also, the other thing that I agree with you is how creative everyone has gotten, which is really cool, because I think that people underestimate sometimes the creativity of communities like these. And man, they've really just come through really quickly, and even things that we don't think about ourselves as the people in charge of being creative, they've come through, and it's made our job definitely a lot easier, but it's also made me really proud to be a part of this community. And I'm sure you feel the same.
Definitely.
So one thing I discovered about myself during this time at home is I am now a morning person. I struggled before to, like, especially somebody who works from home, you know, I struggled really hard to, like, make sure that I got up, you know, at a certain time so that I was awake by the time everybody got to the office and I had things kind of like rolling, but it was really hard for me. And now it's like 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, let's go, you know? And I'm like, oh my God, I'm a morning person now, which I don't know. What have you changed in any way? Any new developments for you?
I don't like to cook anymore.
Oh my,
Like I used to really, I'm
that's
serious. I
a
used to
problem.
really love coming home from work and like thinking about, oh, what am I going to make for dinner? And I have no interest in cooking anymore, especially now that I can almost like use the excuse
That you're
of,
supporting local? Yeah.
yes. So I don't really like that at all. And the other thing is, I've always said that being a working mom makes me a better mom. Yeah, I really miss my office.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
love my
you're
son
still
more than
working
life
though.
itself, but I am, you're right. But I just miss I miss my office. I miss my desk. I miss my copier, like the silliest
My
things, right?
copier.
But I am just like, I miss like putting my key in and having to jiggle it just so, to get my door open. I'm just one of those people.
Oh
Like,
no.
I love routine and I miss my like normal routine for sure.
Oh my God, that is hilarious.
I know.
I
I'm
had
officially
somebody, so
boring.
my friends who live in New Jersey, anybody who commutes for
Yeah.
work, you constantly, right? It's the constant complaint. It's sort of like it's just never ending, right? They're always
Oh
complaining
yeah. Yeah.
about the commute. And I
Mhm.
almost fell off my chair laughing when one of my best friends posted on Facebook how much she missed getting on New Jersey Transit, which is
Yeah. No, my family's originally from New Jersey. Yeah, that's
right.
makes me
That's
a chunk on
huge.
her. A little extra.
That's huge. That's like New Jersey Transit is notoriously like the
Oh
thing
yeah, it's
that
terrible.
people
Yeah.
love to complain about. And she was
Yes.
like, I so miss them. And I was
Well,
just like, oh my God, things are
what's
really
happening?
bad.
Yeah,
Things are
yeah.
really bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm getting a little spoiled because Travis, my husband, has been cooking.
Ooh.
Like he cooks anyway, but it's usually been like a weekend thing. And
Mm-hmm.
now if I'm stuck doing something, and he finishes before I do,
Mm-hmm.
he'll get up and he'll start cooking, and I'm getting really spoiled. I think I'm gonna miss that because I'm usually
Well,
the one always thinking about dinner.
yeah, my problem is that once I cook something, I'm like, okay, I don't want that anymore. It's really weird. I don't know what it is. And I feel like my mom was that way a lot, but I'm the type of person that will go to a restaurant and I'm like, ooh, I definitely want to order this and I'll get it and I'll love it. So I don't know why that changes while I'm at home,
Oh
but
my
like
God.
if someone else makes it, I'm good with it. But if I make it, I'm like, I don't really want
It's a
that.
lot. And then you have to cook. I think also you're cooking a lot more. You're making lunch, you're making,
Yeah, so
you
true.
know, full
Yeah.
dinners. And I know
Cake.
you're making mayonnaise cake. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to read this recipe. Yeah, I think that it's changing a lot of us, and not always for, I think that one of the things that I really love too is that I don't know that, oops, let me decline that. I don't know that you and I have ever had this long of a conversation before.
I don't think we have
It took
ever.
a pandemic.
Carol, that's not good.
No, but you know what though? This is the thing. Like I sat down. I'm the oldest in my family with my siblings. There's 10 of us, and I'm the oldest. So
Oh my gosh. So
you can
I'm one of
understand.
5 and we're considered a huge family, and I'm like, we're really not that big. Like my grandfather's one of 13, like,
Oh
so
my
yeah, big
gosh.
family.
Yeah.
Got it.
No. Well, I'm the oldest of 10,
That's amazing.
and the next one over is 7 years younger. So I was already
Yeah.
able to watch babies, and so I grew up changing a lot of diapers and
Oh yeah.
babysitting a lot and all of that stuff. So you can understand my not always being like uh kind of like, hey, let's go, because inevitably I'm always the leader. Like
Uh-huh.
it's an automatic thing.
Yeah.
So but now I'm like coordinating Zoom meetings and making sure that we're all connected. And
Hmm.
I don't know if you've discovered this app called Marco Polo.
No.
Okay, so it's basically this app that I invite others to join. It's you get to sort of leave these little messages on your phone, and you just talk, and then you hang up, or you stop it, and then the next person talks, and then they stop it and you answer, and it's like this back and forth, like Marco Polo type of thing. So you're
Oh,
not talking like this, but
yeah.
you're all leaving each other messages and stuff, and we're constantly on that.
That's kind of cool.
Which we never did it. We never did it before, and now we're constantly online and talking to each other. So that's that's one thing that I think it's really cool about, some of this. Like, we've really connected and talking to people that we don't normally talk to as much.
Yep.
How are your family? How are you staying connected with your family?
Mostly we use Facebook. We also send a ton of group text messages.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And that's just how we normally are. But, it's been really hard because we typically all get together with my dad every weekend. And so to not do that and to not see my sisters and my nieces and nephews, it's been very strange. But, our family, we're lucky because we're really close knit. But my hope is that maybe in all of this, everybody will come out the other side and realize, like, wow, I shouldn't take for granted the time that I get to spend with people, because you never know when that could change. And I don't know.
So before we go, what tip would you like to leave people with that you think is the most impactful for you right now, whether it be connecting with your family or adjusting to working from home or avoiding cooking, whatever it may be?
I think it's to not lose perspective. Like, at some point, this is going to be over. It's hard in the day to day. It's what's that phrase that they tell new moms? The nights are long, but the years are short, or the days are short, something like that.
Right.
It's sort of the same thing. Like, we at the wine trail, at least, and professionally speaking, like, we're still planning and thinking, like, when this normalizes, we want to be ready. Our wineries are going to have their doors open. Everybody's going to be excited and eager to welcome people. So no matter what that new normal is going to look like, I just want people to remember that perspective is really important. If you only listen to the news and you only get bogged down by the politics and the bickering back and forth, it's easy to lose sight of how lucky we are, really, ultimately. I've seen a few things that say, oh, I'm stuck at home, but as you said, like, think about our healthcare workers who are on the front lines every day and are really risking their lives and risking the lives of their family members to do this work. And, all of a sudden being stuck at home becomes, I get to be at home and I'm safe and I'm healthy. And, so just keep perspective, I would say, is probably.
Yeah. And so I will be posting, with Brittany's full permission, this recipe of the mayonnaise cake.
Oh, sure.
I don't know.
Sorry, Carol. Sorry. You didn't know I was going to throw that one on you, did you?
I
told Carol, I'm going to have chocolate cake. And she was like, ooh, chocolate cake, And I'm like, oh, girl, I got a bomb for you.
But I want to thank you, Brittany, for joining the FLX brunch. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And let us know, who would you like to hear from next? Till then, cheers.
Cheers.